After some intense work finishing up my generator last week, this was how I pictured my week would look like. Chill here in my hammock, at least a day or two before preparing Be Free for the long sail towards Panama. But no. So what's going on here? I mean, this was not what I planned to do today. Stocking up a boat for long distance sailing might sound easy, but it's actually not. And it's a lot of things you should actually think about. Quite important as well, because too much weight on a boat, even on a monohull, it can change the characteristics and even the safety of your boat. I'm gonna tell you more. My tin can stock, or my stock of tin cans, canned food, or what do you call it, has gone bad. At least some of the cans, and they've been rusting, and I kind of thought things like this was lasting a little bit longer, but obviously not. So when I prepared for the canal crossing and heading out in the Pacific 2 years ago, I stocked up a lot of tin cans. Some of these have been rusting. I don't know exactly what's happened, but let me show you. So, turn out canned food does not last forever. It's definitely something I learned. And it's amazing how fast things can go wrong and develop. So I'm really happy I was not away from my boat for a month or so. This could then been a very interesting experience. Yeah, doesn't look too nice, huh? I should been better at using some of this. I've been eating up quite a lot of the stock I had prepared for the Pacific, but obviously when you're in a beautiful island like Martinique, when you have so much nice fresh food and cheese and stuff, it's not the first choice to start working your way through the canned food, so I'm the only one to blame here. It's not the first time something goes wrong on this boat with my storage. I don't know if you remember the episode when I lost a lot of beer cans. Got this. This was only what was left and believed was saved after beating my way against the Caribbean from Panama to Martinique. Having beer cans in the front of my boat doesn't sound too smart, and for sure is not the best place if out of context. But remember, this was stocked up for the Pacific and not planning for beating my way against the Caribbean, and that's a big difference. However, I had no time to change this, and that's a lesson learned. We go all the way when you're feeling down, push the pain away, we go bottoms up. When I stock up my boat, it's lots of things to consider, and what I do keep in mind is weight. Not only the total weight, but distribution of it as well. If you have ever sailed dinghies, you really know this, not only in theory, but also in practice. Experienced dinghy sailor would move the body forward and even lift their keel when sailing downwind. Even though Be Free is a decent size monohull, the theory is the same. In fact, just as important as on a catamaran. The max loading capacity is different, but it still affects not only performance but also behavior and safety of your boat. This things is more important than you might think. Not keeping things like this in mind could seriously affect your boat's stability, and by this, the seaworthiness. And to keep it stupid simple, in my case, Be Free have a class A. All oceans with 16 people on board. If I have 18 people on board, her rating most likely falls down to B, meaning it changed from all oceans to offshore. Overloading a category A yacht could even send you down the ladder to category C, meaning inshore sailing. Something to think about before building an Eiffel Tower on the aft of your boat. The higher up the weight is, the more it even eats of your total limits. That's why most sailors want to keep weight as low as possible, not only in kilos, but also in where you place this. I'm not sure if these tin cans that's from Panama, if they are just as poor as the beer cans that comes from Panama, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought like tin cans would last longer. So, but it could be something with the tropical temperature or something, I don't know. But this does not look good. But still not as bad as when I had the eggs that went bad in the bilge here. that was a nightmare.
What you're doing?
Trying not to throw up.
Why?
Well, luckily there's no smell on your smell sensor on your phone, but you could peek inside here.
Oh no.
Okay.
It still looks like I can handle a lockdown or two. However, lots of these are about to expire and I decide to do a full inventory of everything on board. Yeah. At least I don't think this is leaking. It's still, but it would not be a long time before this will also make a problem. So, but come and have a look. It only takes one puncture can to make a mess, and the domino effect is pretty obvious. At the end, I managed to find the guilty tin can here. I'll try some rust stain remover, because the tin cans made some rust stains here as well, so let's see how this works. This worked out pretty well, and done with sorting out what's going off my boat and what's gonna stay for now. I kept on cleaning for hours. So now I just gonna leave this mess and go for a sundowner. I'm gonna visit my friend Terje. He's sending me messages on the phone. I have cold beer, so that's my call sign. So I'm off. By some totally random coincidence, I managed to find a sailor wanting all the food with 6 months or less before expiry date. Some of the food that was expired I opened and checked, and this was not good. But I'm happy it was not too much to throw away, as I really hate to waste food. Provisioning for long distance sailing is difficult, and I have for sure learned a lot about this the last years, not to mention today. I always get a very warm welcome from Terje's dog Basse. That's such a funny dog. After he was done greeting me, he changed his focus to one of his favorite hobbies. I just call it fish barking. In fact, he don't care much about other cats or dogs, but the marine life gets his attention. Good attitude on a sailor dog, if you ask me. And while enjoying our beer in my friend's boat, we could hear some live music that did not sound too bad, so we decided to check it out. And being in a small place like this is always a risk meeting new and old friends as well. And my secret of being Basse's best friend around here is good old-fashioned corruption. I give him some snack now and then. I need to find some more strong soaps, as I'm not entirely done. And I know it's anti-corrosion for engines, but could not resist the humor seeing -20 as a sales argument here. After all, it's a tropical climate. That's why I'm using a cooling bag with frozen elements inside. It's so hot here, and food that needs to be kept cold gets bad super fast otherwise. Also have the feeling that it helps my food even lasting longer in my fridge after being transported like this. So I'm done! It's been quite a lot of work. Not the most interesting week, but end of the day I would have to do this anyway, because it's not long time until I will sail for a long time, and then I need to have revitalized my entire stock on board. And normally I prefer to have food that lasts at least a year. So what I will do for the future, I'm gonna get more of plastic trays like this. I'm gonna keep my canned food and stuff inside this, and then in the lockers like this, so I will not have any more leakage out or accidents from case like this. I have also a lot of dry food like rice and pasta and stuff like that. So to walk through all this and to make everything super clean, it really takes time. But now it's done and I feel more ready to start looking at my list. I learned a lot, what to buy, not to buy. Also, I think about the quantity. It's no question, some of the cans I had way too many. Even for 3 persons it would be way too much. So that's been a good lesson. So, but now it's still sunshine. It's late, but it's the evening sun, and I'm done with this video and I'm done with this cleanup, so I'm going outside. And finally I can enjoy my hammock. If you haven't already, I will be very happy to see you subscribe to my channel. And then I guess it's not much more to say. Then thank you so much for watching. Stay safe. All the best. Cheers.